Hi, my name is Carolyn Yingling, and I am a senior health sciences student at the University of Alaska Anchorage, and today I'm proposing for my pilot project, the Alaskans Against Drunk Driving, or ADD campaign. In this campaign, we are targeting Alaskans living in the Anchorage and Mat-Su school district boundaries, aged 14 to 23 years old. It was found in 2014 that 39% of traffic fatalities were related to alcohol in Alaska. 30% of traffic fatalities in Alaska involved a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or above. It is also found that 11% of alcohol consumed in the United States is by people aged 12 to 20 years old. Among high school students in the past 30 days, 33% drank some amount of alcohol, 18% binge drank, 8% drove after drinking alcohol, and 20% rode with a driver who had been drinking alcohol. We are specifically trying to reach the 14 to 23 years old population so that we can be proactive in our efforts. We're trying to reach those people before they come of legal age to drink and before they are moving out of their parents' houses, whether it be to go to college or just live on their own. We want to be proactive and teach them our intended behavior before any unnecessary or unwanted behavior is a habit to them. So our solution that we are introducing is to designate a non-drinking driver before starting to consume alcohol. This can be somebody at the event that they are at, whether it be at dinner, at somebody's house. It can be somebody that they text and say, hey, I'm going to be drinking. Can you please pick me up after at this time? We also want them not to get in the vehicle with someone who has been drinking. So if you designated a driver and they started drinking while you were at the event, we don't want you to get in the vehicle with them. We want you to call someone to pick you up, whether it be a taxi or a Lyft or an Uber or some other friend. Call somebody. Don't get in the car with them and don't drive yourself if you have been drinking as well. We also want you to try not to let someone drive while intoxicated. So this could be a proactive situation in which everybody puts their keys in a bowl, or you hide somebody's keys because you are the designated driver and you don't want them to pick up the keys and get in the vehicle, get behind the wheel without thinking about it. You want to be proactive. This isn't always possible in some situations, but we want to reiterate that sometimes you can be proactive, and that is always the best situation to prevent alcohol-related injury. So some educational activities that we are proposing are assemblies that occur at Anchorage and Mat-Su high schools, the University of Alaska, and Mat-Su College. In these assemblies, videos will be shared pertaining to DUIs and alcohol-related fatalities and injuries. We really want to appeal to the participants' ethos and their pathos, trying to get the emotional response out of them that drinking while driving isn't always a great outcome. It's not, okay, nobody will ever figure out. There are always things that can occur, and they're not always good. We also are going to have local paramedics and EMTs discuss the effects of alcohol in the body and how stories that they've had from patients that they might have had and how they've seen the patients' lives affected, and just get behind the science of alcohol and the body. We'll also have local police and state troopers discuss scenes that they might have arrived on that involved alcohol, whether it be a vehicle incident or a fatality. We want them to share these stories to help get to that emotional status of the students, that this is an awful occurrence that happens. And it involves families and friends and so many people. We also want to have people affected by drunk driving, so whether it be parents that are affected, spouses that are affected, best friends, just everyone that we can get. It might switch by each assembly, but we hope to have a good amount of people and a good range of people. At the end of every assembly, we'll have a small group discussion, and this will be available for students so that they can get those questions answered that they might have. We'll also have tents and tables. These tents and tables will be found at campus events, whether it be campus kickoffs or in the December Impaired Driving Prevention Month, or finals week events. There's also multiple events that happen throughout the year, say the student union, that the tents and tables can be found at to give information and share some of the materials that the program will be providing. So at the beginning of every assembly, we'll give out this questionnaire and have students fill it out, the top portion. This is to help clear up any misconceptions. So the first question is, how many people are killed in a car crash involving a drunk driver in Alaska? So on average, there is about 222 deaths that occurred due to a drunk driver. Which category endures the most deaths involving a drunk driver? And it has been found that ages 21 to 34 have the most deaths. 1 in 3 traffic deaths in the U.S. involves a drunk driver. And the best way to protect yourself and others from alcohol-related motor vehicle incidents are to designate a non-drinking driver before everyone starts drinking, or to call somebody. So we want these facts to soak into the students' minds and get them thinking that maybe what they thought was true, or things that they didn't even think of. We want to give them the real facts. At the bottom of every questionnaire is a feedback section so that we know how the program is going, if we need to add things in, if we have too much information, and how it is affecting each of the different students. So for our $2,000 that we are getting for our pilot project, we're going to use it mainly on these materials. All the speakers at the assemblies and at the tents will be volunteers, and they will be volunteering their time maybe once or twice a month. So all of our money will be going into these questionnaires, posters that we post in high schools in the area and at the colleges, just to remind people to designate a drinking driver. We'll also have swag items such as keychains reminding people to not drink and drive, t-shirts, and designated driver badges, and we have examples of those on the screen, which the t-shirts will also be handed out for participation at some of the events. So whether it be answering a question correctly, or sharing a story, or providing feedback, raising their hand, things like that. And then the keychains and badges will be just handed out at whether it be a tent or at the end of every assembly. They'll just be handed out. So our potential partners will be Mat-Su College, the University of Alaska Anchorage School District, and the Mat-Su School District. These are all the schools, high schools, and colleges in the area that we will be trying to do presentations at, or host events at, or have a tent at. Just try to make people available to talk to students and be there for students and raise awareness and educate them about drinking and driving. We'll also partner with the Wasilla and Palmer Police Department, the Alaska State Troopers, Anchorage Police Department, to have police officers available to talk at these events and share stories and talk about the facts We also want to partner with Providence, Anchorage, and Alaska Regional Hospital for our EMTs and other medical professionals to discuss the effects of alcohol on the body and the science behind it and how it impairs thinking and driving and all that other stuff relating to alcohol that most people don't realize or know. And these are where we found all of our facts. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions.